Welcome back to Eat a Golf. So, last time we left off, us and Nola had kids, and our hands are starting to turn black. So, we're gonna see kind of what's going on. You walk to the kitchen, and Unum performs a sanctification ritual before starting to prepare breakfast. He's so thoughtful, though. He's crazy, but I kind of hope he won't kill us now. I hope he kind of likes us now, at least, I guess. I don't know. You help him with some tasks, but he does most of the work, precisely replicating what the girls prepared the day before. And after a while of cooking, breakfast is ready. Puffing out his chest, Unum looks at the result with pride, but instantly he deflates like a balloon. I miss watching my wives cook. I see you did quite well. Solaris enters through the door with a half smile. It seems that you'll be the one in charge of cooking, dear. Only if you join me. We'll think about it. Do you need help setting the table? Yes, please. It's strange. This is totally strange. You never imagined that living with them would be so normal? Where did that Unum, so overexcited about everything, go? The one who used to try to attack you at the slightest reaction of your body? What's the catch? Could it be that they'll end up eating you? After all, they are entities that eat human flesh. Are you really playing at being a happy family? Leah? Ah, yes. Can human babies eat at the table? What? Honestly, I can't imagine them sitting at the table with a fork and a knife in their hands. Their hands are very small, and they don't have much coordination with them. Well, they have no coordination at all. You take a deep breath before answering, and you remember that Unum is an entity completely opposite to you. Who knows about humans from what he's read? And God knows what he's been reading. The days pass quickly, faster than you care to admit. With Unum and his wives at home, there's never a moment when you're alone. There's always something to do. It's always something pleasant. Well, not always. Can you peel this? I have to go to ask Ignis something. Of course. When you take the knife and the fruit in your hand, you realize that perhaps not only the color of your skin is changing, but also the mobility of your fingers. Why are we turning black? What's going on? You find it hard to coordinate and apply pressure, but you can still do it. You're about to finish peeling when Unum appears behind you, placing his hands on your shoulders. You do it better than I do! Ooh. And that's enough to distract you, causing you to cut the palm of your hand with a knife. Fudge. Just in case. The cut is deep, and the blood flows out in concerning amounts. Then everything descended into chaos. You're thankful that Unum didn't try to rip your hand off in one bite. Let's be honest. You know that he really wanted to do that at the moment? Was to eat you whole. From head to toe. By the fourth day, little by little, you start opening up to each of Unum's wives. And, like the redhead, they're eager to learn more about humans. Thanks to them, you discover that both babies need to be together. They're binary stars, which means they are permanently linked by a tail in an endless dance, Ignis once said. Although there's a great concern from the girls' faces when they talk about it. Every time you ask them why, they change the subject. Oh, no. Quit, they look so cute. On the fifth day, you discover that their original name. And if you focus your gaze on the children, you can see a tail. Sirius is the name they both share. Elena explained to you that this is because they were born at the same time. But you shouldn't worry, because it's a name no one will use after both the gods choose their own. You can't spend too much time with them in one room because their presence burns your skin and prevents you from breathing normally. Oh, they're so cute though. Like the little stars in their eyes. At least now you know that you can carry them for a short amount of time. And you can't help but to think that they're cute. Both of them resemble Unum. They don't physically resemble you at all. And when you mention this to Unum, he just laughs. You vividly remember the words that came from the sun god at the moment. They both share a heart and an essence similar to yours. And that is 1,000 times better than having an appearance similar to mine. Why? Because now I can feel your heart accompanied by 2 more melodies. Why is he kind of romantic sometimes? Like, why are you so sweetie pie all the time? Little crazy man. They are different, but theirs comes from yours, and together they create the most beautiful symphony I've ever heard. You still can't believe Unum said that to you. Every time you remember it, you feel your cheeks warm up. Yeah, because who says that? He's so precious. On the 7th day, a Sunday, Septum comes to see your babies. He looks at them for just a second and then turns his gaze to you. Your hands. Ah, it's nothing. I'll find a solution for that. Without explanation, he leaves. Now that Septum mentioned it, Unum says as he approaches to inspect your hands, your hands and arms have changed over time. What's wrong with them? I'm gonna quick save, but I just kind of want to hug him. Oh! Hey! Yeah. I've been watching Sirius sleep, and I think they dream. They move, and make gestures while they sleep. Just imagine what they dream about. And thank you so much for giving me this change. You truly are the best thing that's happened to me in a long time. Only real men could be like this after you have a kid. Unum starts to move closer and wrap you in his arms. He's tall and his build is massive, so that you can't help but to feel dwarfed in comparison. His embrace is warm, yet the thought that he could rip a piece of your skin off with his teeth at any moment refuses to leave your mind. Yeah, we can't forget he crazy. I really like having you here. I love your warmth, your scent, and your heartbeat. The fact that you're immortal and ever-changing. Unums loosens his grip slightly to take one of your hands. Oh my gosh, this man is massive. Look at our hand compared to his face. Like, that's not normal. And he inspects it while tracing the scab that formed on you with your thumb. And how adaptable you are. Oh, is he gonna kill me? I got a little too comfy. Please don't kill me. We're just gonna... Without warning, he takes your hand to his mouth and licks it. Of course he does. Your heart is racing, though you're not sure if it's from fear or something else. His face draws dangerously close to yours. But you also make me want to devour you. Remember that time you cut yourself peeling the fruit with a knife? It was terrible. If I didn't like you so much, I probably would have gutted you right then. Of course you would have. Of course. What kind of comment is that? And why does he say it like it's a compliment? But don't worry, I'll take care of you. Without further explanation than a smile, Unum presses a kiss to your lips. I forget he's kissed us before. Man is just kind of down bad in general. Days pass, and you find it hard to believe how quickly the children grow. You've gotten used to them calling them the children instead of their original names. Now that they can walk, you spend most of your day in the garden with them, since it's still too dangerous to be indoors with them for long periods of time. The energy they release is very unstable and dangerous for a body like yours. Aww, they look so cute. They're adorable. It's adorable to see them playing and interacting with the other girls. Yet there's something that's been worrying you for a while now. Something that neither Unum nor the girls have shown any interest in explaining or discussing. So you assume it's normal, but it still worries you. And the more that they grow, the more they tend to stick together, their tails entwined. They can spend entire days clinging to each other's tails. We're gonna ask Unum, because I feel like if he's lying, it's gonna be more obvious. You tell the children that you're going back inside for a second and that you'll be right back. You search for Unum in the temple hallways and find him in the kitchen with Solaris, who is advising him on how to improve his latest meal. Out of curiosity, you pause to listen to part of their conversation. You need to improve your singing, my son. If you sing off key, it might affect the taste. Her voice wavers between laughter and tenderness, yet she can't help but let out a small chuckle at the end. Are you telling me I sing badly? Maybe. That's all it takes for Solaris to burst out with a big laugh she'd been holding back. Leah, do you think I do the chants badly? You jump a little. You can't believe how Unum detected you. Girl, he probably detected you the moment you stepped in that house. It's not that you do them badly, it's just that you're off key. Answer in favor of Unum and ask about the children. No, Unum sings well. Solaris laughs again, even louder, and between the laughs says, There's no need to lie. Just stick it along. Can I ask something? It's about the children. That alone is enough to grab both of their attention back on you, and you don't need a verbal response, as they simply look at you waiting for your question. Is it normal for them to have their tails intertwined all the time? It's something binary stars do. Solaris knows more about it. We don't have tails, but according to what Due told us when we accompanied her to the birth of the binary stars, the union of both tails is their way of maintaining their gravitational balance. So it also works as a method of communication between the two stars. Yes, exactly. Don't worry about it. It's normal. Okay. You spend the rest of the day with the girls while Unum takes care of the children. You're no longer afraid to leave them with him, as Unum has proven to be a very good caretaker, incredibly, against all odds. Yeah, he's been taking care of them since they were born. I'm pretty sure. I still can't believe this man's got multiple wives. Man has game. He's like, I just in love, and I'll be crazy, you know. Sunday arrives once again, and Septim appears once again. You don't like that you can't be present during the children's growth checkup, but Unum can, so you don't worry more than necessary, deciding to wait outside the room. About 30 minutes pass, and they still haven't come out. It's nothing to worry about. After an hour passes, the girls arrive to keep you company. They say nothing, which makes you start to break into a cold sweat. Why are they here? And why do they look so tense? What if they don't pass the checkup? Be quiet. Don't even think about it. I'm sorry. What will happen if they don't pass the checkup? You're about to panic and scream to ask what they mean when the door to the room opens. The two children come out and run towards you laughing as if celebrating something you don't know about. Septim walks out with both arms behind his back, with Unum following behind him. They have their names now. All present. Unum, A, M, and A. I can't say their names, so I'm just... must refer to these new names from now on. It is strictly forbidden to call them by their original name. An inexplicable pressure runs through your body from tension on Unum's face. You know you're not the only one who felt it. Sirius, you may introduce yourselves. Oh, look how cute they are. My name is Nor, and I'm called Shams. Please, Septim bids farewell in a monotone and distant voice, though his movements and expressions maintain the elegance characteristic of his being. Why is he the only one allowed to refer to them by their imposed names? And Unum isn't allowed to? You fear the reason behind such an order? But for now, you can do nothing. Can we go to the garden to play? Your attention shifts to the children, who look pleadingly, their tails intertwined. They gotta eat some food first. The response gets you a chorus of childish tantrums, but they accept, realizing they won't gain anything from it. Oh, they learn fast. Life here is not so bad. Oh no. Septim's words won't leave you alone. In every silence and every pause, his voice echoes and lingers in your mind, reminding you that there's something deeper and far more troubling than just playing house with Unum and his wives. It couldn't all be so perfect. Septim must be pulling the strings for the sum symbol. You suppose that you could ask what all this really is about? Sit down with Unum one day and have a serious talk about why he wanted the descendants in the first place, but you're afraid of being disappointed by his answer. Afraid that Unum might be acting, that his fatherly image you have of him will shatter. But that hurts more than the thought of the children might be just pawns for some plan you don't understand. It hurts a little more than you're willing to admit. Dang, we down by 2. I get it. Oh, look at them. They're so cute. Ignis's voice pulls you out of your dark thoughts. She sits beside you, glass in hand, toward the garden. She's watching every movement of the children, ready to intervene if needed. Shams and Nora are play fighting. At first you worried about them getting hurt, but soon you realize that they've come out completely unscathed after every single match. The stars that change and grow over time. I would have never imagined it. She turns her head towards you. It's a pity you can't see her expression. The mask she wears hides her face entirely. They've grown 3 more centimeters today, and Shams has gained more body mass. Her voice is warm, almost tender. It carries the tone of someone who's proud of her children. Oh, one of them's gonna die, aren't they? Oh, I'm gonna crash out. No. Nora's so small. Does that worry you? Yes. Ignis sighs, clutching her glass tightly against her lap and hands. For a moment, you think it might shatter. I must take my leave. It's time for you to turn to Unum's residence. Oh, dang it, there's a reason for us to be afraid of that. Oh, crap. No, I can't stand your scent any longer. You know she doesn't mean it with disdain, but it still stings. Unum explained it to you before, and you've already half guessed it. Your flesh, your body, it's like a fine delicacy to them. When you're in your whether you're human from another world or something crafted from the garden, they could still eat you. Something they could eat, but are forbidden to taste. Those resources are reserved exclusively for the symbols. The source of energy for the higher ranks, an untouchable delicacy for the servants of each domain. There's no point in dwelling on it. It might be a coveted dish for the garden's inhabitants, but even for those who share a roof with you. Both Unum and his wife see you as potential food, but you can tell they're really trying. They make the effort to not devour you whenever they see you or spend time with you. Ignis often avoids spending too much time with you because of this, and Unum never skips his Sunday placebos. Tomorrow he has his meeting at the hotel and will receive his weekly serving. Tomorrow is Sunday, which means that before going to the hotel, Septim will come to check on the twins. Anxiety grips at your chest with the mere thought of what might happen, what Septim will say, and what will happen to Noor and Shams afterward. 2 small arms wrap around your neck, grounding you back to reality. Ignis is gone, and now that the children are on your back and your lap instead. Look at how cute they are. I could literally cry. They're so cute. Just want to squeeze their little faces. It's so precious. I do wonder why they're blonde, though. That one I am curious about. Why are they blonde? Ignis said you called me? Did something happen? Shams asked while dropping their full weight onto you, knocking the air out from your lungs. Ignis is right. You'll have to teach her to control her strength. At least when it comes to you. You need to get ready for tomorrow. I don't want to. It's so boring to talk with His Holiness Septum. I like it. Sham sticks out her tongue at Noor and mutters under her breath that he's just as boring as Septum. She runs off under Noor's dismayed gaze. He doesn't wait for you to react before chasing after Shams, frowning and seeking revenge. Both of them head toward Unum's residence. You take one last look at the wives' residence before following them. You feel curious about the place. Just seeing it from the outside is no longer enough. There are days when you have to bite your tongue and keep yourself from asking if you can go in, but you hold back. You may be curious, but you're not foolish enough to think that it wouldn't be dangerous. Y'all know da. Okay, I'll be right back. I grab a little bathroom. Hey, I'm back. Sorry. Once back at home, you learn that Unum has returned from his meeting with Septum. As always, he's brought back a pile of books. Lately, Unum and Septum's meetings have becoming more frequent, and they last longer each time. It bothers you a little bit. Because on the days of those meetings, you're left in charge of the children, and they demand more than you can give. He's so cute, though. Like, hi. Leah, did you know it's good to read stories to children while they're growing? But the moment Unum appears with that satisfied smile, all your irritation vanishes. Unum stands beside you, book in hand, ready to show you its contents. From the cover, you can tell it's a children's book, probably for ages 5 to 10. Human ages, of course. You can't read the title, but it's clearly an adventure or fantasy story. Oh yeah, that's a language I don't know. No idea. Okay. While he talks about everything he saw in Septum's library, you flip through the book's pages. More pictures than text, ideal for kids with short attention spans like Shams. You trust the illustrations will keep her interested. You close the book abruptly, making Unum fall silent at once. You let out a long, tired sigh. Ooh, we can be passive aggressive. You seem to be enjoying spending time with Septum. I missed you. Or is there something important I should know? I kind of just want to see what he says if we say that we missed him. But I feel like we should, get some info right here. Okay, just for me seeing what he says. He stares at you perplexed. You've caught him off guard, and he doesn't know how to respond. As if he's forgotten how to speak. His mouth opens and closes, searching for the right words to give you. He clearly wasn't expecting that. Me too. I told Septum that having many meetings is making me lose time with you and the kids, but we need to talk and plan everything down to the last detail. Once this is over, we'll have all the time in the world. I promise. Unum clears his throat. He's so precious. I can't. He takes a deep breath, and his words spill out like air escaping from a deflated balloon. Starting tomorrow, the children will attend their checkups with Septum separately. I don't think that's a good idea. Whatever it is Septum's after, I won't let him use the children. They're mine, not his. Ooh. Oh. Crap, 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 crap. I don't know what to do. Yeah, they won't go unless I know what they do in there. That's not how things work. No matter how many times you question Unum about Septum's plan for the children, he always gives you vague answers, borderline absurd ones too. He'll elevate their rank. They'll become divine, no longer mortal. We just have to wait for the right time. They're still too young. and you can't keep pressing him. Unum always finds an excuse to escape the conversation. But today, Unum seems to have reached his limit and agrees to ask Septum if you can attend the next checkup. I can't promise anything. Septum's the one who decides. Okay, we're going to save that, but I want to load and go back to here and ask, is there something important I should know? Not for now. Everything's under control, and Septum's satisfied with the results. He clears his throat, takes a deep breath, and his words spill out like the air escaping from a deflated balloon. Okay. So, I'm going to go back to my option because I liked him knowing that we liked him, you know. Because I do. I'm in love with my Pookie. Anyways, you spend the rest of the day holed up in your room. You feel like you could explode at any small incident, and you don't want that to happen in front of the children. It's better to stay put, at least until tomorrow. You could use the rest. Your body and hands are grateful for the decision. Oh yeah, our hands are like rotting, I think. It angers you that Unum does nothing about the situation. And on the other hand, you can't help but notice how cautious the sun symbol has become in everything he does. He doesn't look as imposing as you once thought. Dang, he's even stopped being impulsive altogether. He's a proud papa, trying to control himself. Love him. Anyways, that's because of Septum's constant presence. Is it? Or is it because he's my Pookie Bear and he's in love with me? It's always, Septum said this. Septum has to know about that. If Septum grants us permission, then... And you're sick of it. The worst part is that Unum always downplays it. Or worse, treats your anger like something amusing or fascinating. I feel like he totally would do that. Man is like D1 gaslighter too. And if you were a dog doing a little trick, maybe that's what you are. Just a pet without a voice or say in anything that happens in this house. Adopted for a single purpose and waiting for the day that your owner gets bored. You're not sure what's worse, going to him or staying here, overthinking everything and nothing at once. Before you can decide, your door is knocked on thrice. You're welcome. The illusion of privacy doesn't even last 5 seconds, and seeing him walk in like he owns the place rubs salt in the wound. Babe, he does own the place. Sorry. Anyways, the children are already asleep. He announces it with such cheerfulness, completely unaware of all that's going on inside of you. But can you really be mad at him? I mean, look at him. Yes, I'm just staring. Hold on, let me stare more. Anything you want. Yup, anything he wants. It's fine. I'm too down bad. He moves through your space as if he owns every inch of it, paying little attention to you and his surroundings. Or maybe he's just pretending not to notice. It must be easier for him that way. I spoke with Septum. If you heard the name Septum one more time, you swear you'll... He said it's fine for you to attend the children's checkup tomorrow. But he won't let me. He admits, pouting. The news should make you happy, but it doesn't. Not completely. Why do you do everything Septum says? Yeah, no, we're not going to be like, get away from me. No, we're going to communicate. Communication is key. Unum clutches his stomach, shaking with a laugh so deep you fear something inside of him, or out, might tear. You think I'm a bootlicker? He asks in disbelief. He said it. You didn't. But he is. And the worst kind, too. The one who won't admit it. Yeah, look at that nervous sweat right there. I know you see this. If Septum decreed that the sun shouldn't rise today, Unum would move heaven and earth to follow that order. Dang bootlicker. Here, a word is a command. Septum rules everything now that he has his body. All he has to do is speak your name and give an order. I'm bound to obey. By law. He's gotten defensive, which at least means you've struck his pride somehow. If only septum were intangible again. What'd you say? What do you mean? What do you mean intangible? Ah! For a moment, Unum falls silent. He has no words to answer. You've caught him off guard. Yeah, because I'm calling you out. Duh. There was a time where Septum had no body at the very beginning. Without a mouth, he couldn't command. And it was Nulla who talked for him, like a spokesman. He had more freedom back then, until he showed up with a body. Sextum said she lent it to him, but I don't believe it. Unum pauses for a long while, as if trying to remember what led him to talk about this. Then he exhales, puffing a funny grimace. So, no, I'm not a bootlicker. He doesn't say it to convince you. He says it like he's trying to convince himself. Oh, my poor baby. The silence is heavy, and honestly, you don't know how to rescue the conversation. You slip under the sheets, ready to end the day. Seeing this, he sits at the foot of the bed, staring at you. He seems torn between speaking and staying silent. Can I stay with you while you sleep? Yes. Of course you can. Look at him, we made him happy. Ah, my man. Unum smiles and lies down beside you. Sleep doesn't take long to come, and you drift off instantly. Please don't eat me in my sleep, though. Please. It's Sunday. Your body hasn't even had time to adjust to the new day when Shams bursts into the room, throwing herself onto your bed. Her knee lands separately on your ribs as she yells. Great. Ow. They're waiting for us! Between the confusion and her relentless tugging at your shirt, you can barely keep your eyes open, while Shams blurts out half-baked explanations. Without giving you a chance to ask questions, she drags you out of bed, repeating non-stop that it's late and that you need to hurry and that Septum wants both of you to be there right now. Her imitation of Septum's voice is all it takes for you to understand completely. It's the weekly checkup. You're already walking down the halls leading to the medical wing before you know it. Shams throws the door open without stopping to knock or announce herself. Dang, they both look good right now. You should knock before entering. You told Dad that you were in a hurry. Her response is immediate, caring little, if at all, about what the blonde man might think or do about it. Look, his fingers are also turning black. What does that mean? What does that mean? Now I'm curious. Anyways, he, on the other hand, decides to ignore her. Sitting upright in front of Unum, he barely glances at you, nor does he even make a gesture to greet you. It's Unum who does, standing up with a wide, tender smile that reveals his sharp white teeth. Yeah, my little shark boy over there. As he approaches, he plants a warm kiss on your cheek, murmuring a soft good morning. My man. He barely has time to get the words out before Septum's glare silently orders him out of the room. Shams runs to the corner where their instruments rest. There's a scale, measuring tape, cot, and more. She seems to know the routine already, sitting on the cot to wait. Meanwhile, Septum stands, notebook and pencil in hand, taking his place beside her to start recording data. She is so cute. And she has her dad's eyes. She's so precious. I need her. He instructs her to raise her arms, stretch her legs, and breathe deeply. Everything is done with mechanical, clinical precision. He writes down what's needed, offering no comments beyond what's strictly functional. Unum told me you wanted to take part in the checkups. Why is it shivering? Am I supposed to be scared? Anyways, it's the first time he's spoken to you since you walked in. You had assumed he'd ignore you until Sham's checkup was over. Though, in a way, he still does, speaking without looking directly at you. Do you not trust me? Why should I? Ooh. Wait. Okay. We die because of this. Because you don't have a choice. Ooh, he looked frickin' insane right there. Not gonna lie. Sham's completely distracted from the conversation, plays with one of the stethoscopes. She loops it around her neck, twists it, stretches it, and bites it. Septum has to take it to her before she breaks it. Yeah, our little wild child over here. Then he writes down a few more lines before turning his gaze back to you. Regardless of what you think, you have no choice but to do as you are told. If you wish to survive in this world, you need to trust me. I don't trust you. I don't. Otherwise, your puppet won't take long to become obsolete. Today, it's in your hands. Tomorrow, it'll be the whole arm. After that, the feet, and then the legs. You'll be reduced to a useless body, only as good as meat for us. A placebo on the verge of expiration. And when that happens, you'll lose the only means you have to remain in this plane. How do you know that I'm a puppet? How do you know that I'm inhabiting a puppet right now? I didn't tell you that. I'm pretty sure we got taught at the beginning of the game not to tell anybody that. So, well, okay. Septum falls silent for a few seconds, watching Shams, and then he says a single word. Tail. He extends his hands, waiting for Sham to obey. She does, immediately, raising her tail and letting it rest in Septum's palm. You're about to step in. You know the tails of the stars, like Shams, are dangerous, unstable, harmful, pure energy capable of burning the flesh of any entity, regardless of rank. Even Unum's been hurt before. But seeing that Septum doesn't react in pain, you stop and watch. Nothing happens, no burned skin, no pain reflects in his eyes. He holds Sham's tail as if it were just another limb. He examines it calmly and takes notes in his journal. How could he touch it like that? Just like that? Could it be his hands? No. You share a similar condition, and yet you clearly can't touch their tails without getting at least third-degree burns. Is something wrong? If you keep your mouth hanging open like that, you're gonna let a fly in. Why do you look so unhinged right now, Pookie? Close it. Didn't she hurt you? No. No one and nothing can hurt me. He said it offhandedly, as if it were the most trivial thing in the world. You wait for an explanation, but it never comes, and you're left more confused than before. Then the checkup ends, and Sham leaves so Noir can enter. Unlike Shams, Noir seems comfortable with Septum's meticulousness. Where she was restless, he simply observes and waits for the blonde to eat to his command. I don't freaking know what's going on. Anyways, I don't know. You need to eat less, he says after finishing the examination. Huh? No, Noir needs to eat more. I don't know why I've said Noir. I know that's Noir, but like Noir, I'll probably swap between the few. I don't know. Septum looks at you as if you've lost your mind and you're speaking nonsense. Serious? You must eat less. Okay. So his commands don't work unless he calls them by their given name, I'm guessing. If you had the strength and the power to yell or slap him, you would. But that would only bring you more trouble. You don't even get the right to argue or ask for explanations. Something that expels you both from the room with a single clap, and you're instantly transported outside. The door's closed, but when you turn to go back in and confront the blonde, he's no longer there. He's gone. In a way, that's good. You're sick of him already. You don't want to see him in your home again, at least not for the next 7 days. Ugh. You spend the rest of the day play fighting and keeping the children company, hoping that by the time Unum returns from the hotel, he'll have a full belly and no desire to devour you. Real. I want to explore. Okay. You search for the children inside the residence, but only found traces that they were there. Another broken vase to add to your collection. One of the paintings scratched with what you hope is paint. You could go on and on like this until tomorrow, but as for them, you can't find them anywhere. You go outside, hoping to find them in the courtyard. They aren't there either. You assume they must be in Unum's wife's residence. You're not sure if it would be wise to go there. We're gonna save, because I'm gonna go to the residence. Because we might die. Your steps are slow, afraid that if you hurry, something will go wrong. You're not doing anything forbidden, at least not explicitly. Unum's never told you that you can't come here. I love him, but that dumb turd probably would not tell you because he doesn't even think about it. He's like, my wife, and then just runs away, you know? Like, he doesn't know. Still, as you get closer, each step draws a bead of sweat that slides down your neck. We're just looking for our children. I don't see anything wrong with that. Finally, you stop before large closed doors. It's imposing, with carvings in the wood depicting allegories of the sun. When you lift your hand to touch it, something in your stomach twists. A knot rises to your throat, making it hard to think straight. Fear seeps into your body, tightening around your soft skin. You're a juicy body, nothing more than a piece of flesh waiting for them to eat you. You're about to turn around when suddenly the door swings wide open. It's Solaris. She's smiling. For a second, that smile reminds you of Unum's. Because of the teeth? Right. Perfect. Far too visible. Huh? Leah? Solaris looks genuinely surprised. She stops smiling the moment she realizes who you are. The air around her shifts. You can see it clearly. Her body tenses and her soft smile tries to recall. Doesn't come out quite right. What comes out instead is an awkward grimace. Too many teeth, too little expression in her eyes. You can't come in here without permission. It's dangerous. Unum hasn't returned yet with, She cuts herself off, her lips pressed into a thin line as she turns her gaze aside, as if waiting for something, or someone to rescue her from keeping talking. Noir, Shams, they've come looking for you. I told you to warn me before showing up here, you pair of pests. The children come out quickly, their twin tails linked together as they mumble empty apologies to the woman, laughing without a trace of shame in their bodies. If you do that again, I'll tell Ignis to ban you from coming here. She says it with a forced, stern tone, though she convinces no one. Then she looks at you and apologizes, and closes the door right in your face. Why can't I go in there? You left stunned. You don't really know what to think. Yeah, I don't know what to think. Why don't you let me in there? Let me in. Open the door. You feel both pity and rejection. But the children don't give you time to organize your thoughts, pulling at your sleeves toward Unum's residence, all the while telling you what they did in the House of Stars of Orion's Belt. From the little you can catch and process, you gather that Noir learned to lower his intensity, whatever that means. Watching them compete for your praise is funny at first, But when you realize they're both competing seriously, trying to outdo and crush the other, you stop them immediately. You scold them and warn them if they keep it up, you'll end the activity. Both apologize and return to their drawings, now much calmer. The hours pass, and you're not as angry at Unum anymore. Or so you think. Yeah, but we're sitting with his children, and they look so cute. I'm obsessed. Like, look how precious. So, the kids are already on their 6th drawing when Unum finally shows up, and the scene before your eyes is absurd, as it is almost comical. It looks like Unum just got home from work. Oh, quit. I'm gonna cry. Shams and Nora greet him happily, competing to see who can talk louder to win his attention. He does what he can to listen to them both, but it quickly becomes impossible as Shams demands all the attention, tugging at Unum's robe until it's out of place, while Nora glares at his sister's behavior. Unum doesn't seem to care, and you can't understand how he can be so permissive. It's Nora who stops talking, choosing instead to come back to you and continue drawing. You can't help but notice the embarrassed look on his face as he draws. Oh. So you try to cheer him up, talking nonsense and telling jokes so bad they're almost painful, but it works, and Nora ends up laughing a little. You both finish your drawings and compare them. Nora's is way better than yours, and you blame it on your hands. If they were in better shape, maybe your drawings would look nicer. Girl, I'm surprised you can do anything. Nora leaves the table to go to his room, while Sham stays behind, giving Unum a full-on monologue. The poor guy looks at you pleading for help in his eyes, and you decide to step in. Gotta help my husband, a freak. You're the one who has to stop Shams, so she'll leave Unum alone. She obeys instantly, without complaint. You're left alone with Unum. Hi. Hey. Sorry, he looks back on me off guard. He approaches, expecting a welcoming kiss. What if I? It starts chase, nothing passionate or suggestive, an intimate greeting you've shared with him a few times. Girl, I don't blame you, look at him. He's so cute. He seems to have grown used to it. He demands one every time he returns from the hotel. You even think he's gotten addicted to them. You always catch him staring at your lips afterwards and wonder if it's because he wants another kiss or because he wants to eat you little by little. I mean, testing and tasting bit by bit, making his portion last until he decides to consume it all at once. The thought makes you squirm involuntarily. There must be something wrong with you. Maybe this world has gone completely corrupted by you. Because where did your decency go? Girl, we never had it. What are you talking about? I just want my man. That's it. Look at what I brought for the kids. He says it so cheerfully that for a moment you forget who you're dealing with. Girl, I've already forgotten. Oh, okay, now I'm remembering. Babes. Oh, it's an eyeball. How sweet of you. Okay. When Unum pulls out a blood-stained handkerchief from his pocket, it's like a bucket of cold water is dumped over you. Of course, it couldn't be a toy or a damn pet dog if dogs even existed here. No, it had to be 2 brown eyes staring at you. Raw, bloody, and vicious eyes, lying lifeless on the cloth. It's so disgusting you can't help but shove Unum away from you, as he has the audacity to whine, confused by your reaction. Maybe I don't like to see the eyeballs of another human being laying in your hand. Don't you like them? He picks up one with his fingers and brings it closer to his face, searching for details you'd rather not know, and he squelches it slightly. It's firmer than you'd imagine. Oh, ew, no, I hate eyes. Like, Igor is one of those things that I just, No, I don't even want to think about it. I don't like eyeballs. No. Sorry, I need to recover for a second. Gross. It must be because they no longer have that glow that they had when they were connected to the placebo body. The mental image of Unum ripping someone's eyes out, or a placebo or whatever's, is far more grotesque than the eyes in his hands, because you can picture every detail, all while Unum smiles right through it. Yeah, look at my little psychopath right there. Yep, look at him. Goodness gracious. Okay. They looked like yours, but without that little white dot you have. The one that changes size is when you're surprised. I really like yours. Do you think that they taste the same as the others? Just in case we die. How do you think yours would taste? Your question comes out naturally in the same tone and intent that Unum used earlier. He looks at you, wide-eyed. He didn't see that coming. Excellent. Magnificent. What a counterattack, just as twisted as his. You're the effing best. You can't savor the brilliance of your comeback in peace, nor enjoy the redhead's expression for long, because he starts laughing. They don't taste like anything. Look! Oh my gosh, is he about to gouge out his eye? He puts the eyes inside the robe, careful not to damage them. What comes next catches you off guard. His hand shoots towards his right eye, and you jump back, shouting that it is not necessary. His hand pauses just a few centimeters away from his eye. You don't want to witness self-mutilation today. You've had enough after the gifts for Chaminade. Unum tries to explain that it's nothing, that it doesn't hurt, and that he can just regenerate another one later. But you ignore him. Maybe another day, when your stomach isn't so twisted, you'd be willing to see that. You chat for a while about how each of your days went. Oh, great, we're just back to normal, like nothing happened. Okay, but what would have happened if I said my eyes aren't for eating? I just want to know. No. Wait, yes. Sorry. I get confused. I need them to see. Well, one is enough for that. Just like your kidneys. I read that once. You don't like the way he says it. The words coming out of his mouth are harsh and almost criminal. But he utters them so casually that the contrast between the content and the way he expresses it causes you a physical and emotional discomfort. Unum doesn't see the problem. What he proposes, his idea, makes perfect sense to him. After all, it's true. One eye is enough to see, and in a sense, he's not wrong. Of course, that's if you ignore everything else involved. Having your eye torn out without anesthesia, stopping the bleeding, cauterizing the wound if needed, then learning to adapt to the world seeing through a single source of vision. None of that seems to factor into his reasoning. You suppose you can't blame him. His physiology is nothing like yours. He can't fully imagine what it would be like to lose an eye. I'm not giving it to you. His face falls for a split second, saddened that you said no. He's like, why can't I have your eyes? But he understands. And that, to you, is fascinating. Not him caring. You chat for a while about how each of your days went. Unum listens to you with an intensity that unnerves you a little bit, as if every word you say deserves to be remembered and engraved into his memory. I love him still. It's fine. You tell him everything you did, even the mundane things that mean a little... Whoa. I just think I had a freaking mental breakdown. I could not... Words no coming out. Even the mundane things that mean little to you seem to delight him. You're not sure if it's your voice that fascinates him or if he truly cares to know every detail of your day. Without realizing how it happened, you're already in the kitchen. You keep talking, recounting even the smallest things, though you avoid mentioning what happened during the checkup. You show him the drawings you made with Noor, turning the pages only when you're sure Unum's seen every detail. He studies them with a fascination. With a gentle smile, he compares them to the works that adorn his hallways. He even wonders out loud if he can find frames the right size to hang these in his room. Oh, he's such a good dad, though. Now, between brief silences and laughter, you're preparing dinner for you and the kids. The bad part is that you had to listen to Unum chanting to sanctify the ingredients. All while keeping a neutral face, you had to fight the urge to laugh, but you held it in like a champ. There's no doubt his singing voice is anything but melodic. When the food starts cooking, the aroma fills the room, and for a brief moment, everything feels cozy, domestic, and familiar. But bit by bit, your mind refuses to let go of that worry. You can't forget what Sepnum said to Noor. You go back and forth about whether to mention it, but deep down you suspect that even if he knew, he wouldn't oppose what the head of the garden has ordered. I'm going to say it, because it's bothering me. You take advantage of the next moment of silence and finally say what you've been holding in since you entered the kitchen. You don't rehearse your words or build a speech, you just say what matters. A single line. Septum said Noir should eat less. Is more than enough for Unum to realize you're talking about the checkup. His smile vanishes instantly. The knife in his hand slices one last piece of fruit, sliding across the plate, a harsh sound ringing out when the blade scrapes against the dish. A bit more force, and you're sure one of them, either the plate or the knife, would break. You know Noor needs to eat more. He's lost weight because he's already eating too little. Don't you think? Did he say it to you or to him? Unum cuts you off. His voice is dry and his face devoid of emotion, completely neutral like a machine. You look at him confused. You didn't understand the point of the question and why it should matter who Septum said it to. If he said his name, there's nothing you or I can do. To prove the point, Unum serves equal portions onto the kids' plates. His movements are sharp and fast, as if he's angry at the situation, or maybe just feeling powerless. A final touch, he places an eye on each plate. You have to look away to keep from being sick. Yeah. Together you set the table, arranging the plates in their places. Once you're seated, Unum calls the kids to come eat with you. Shams and Noor come running from the same direction, their clothes stained with dirt. You assume they were outside play fighting. It saddened you to see Noor so thin and small. They're supposed to share the same living conditions, the same schedule, the same care from both of you, but Noor keeps falling further behind, while Shams keeps moving forward without looking back. What's that? Oh, she asks as she sits down, staring at her plate. You don't need to be a genius to know what she means. Noor, on the other hand, looks at the food without much interest, poking at it with his fork. Today's the last day of the month. It's human today instead of placebo. I almost ate them on the way home. They smell like you. Noor comments while looking at you, a bit sad. Your heart skips a beat. You're right, Noor. Why? Oh, I'm sorry, he looks so fine right there. Anyways, your gaze immediately turns to Unum. You have no idea how to explain this to the children. When your eyes meet Unum's, you realize he doesn't know what to say either. Because how do you explain to childlike entities they're about to eat something very similar to the person who plays the role of their parent? In the end, you tell her that you'll explain later and to just eat before the food spoils. Shams drops the subject and starts eating, leaving the eye for the last bite. Every now and then, you glance nervously at Noor. His plate remains untouched, save for the missing eye. When everyone's done, Noor's plate is still almost full. When you ask him if something's wrong, Noor simply says he's not hungry. He gets up from the table to go to bed, following after Shams. and you feel like crying, but you swallow it down as best as you can. 3 days have passed since the last checkup, and you can't keep pretending not to see what's obvious anymore. The children are growing, and far too fast. Was it yesterday when you truly realized it, or maybe the day before? You can't recall exactly, but you remember the rush and horror and dread that followed. This time, the fear is different. What if they don't stop growing? What if, in just a few days, they become old and turn into dust and bones? Every hour counts. If you had to guess what stage they're in, you'd say adolescence. Lanky bodies that can't seem to figure out the space between what is theirs and what belongs to others. And that defiant attitude. A constant tug of war between what they can do and what they can't, testing how far they can go without earning your reprimand. They're always measuring what they'll get if they push a bit further and what you'll give and if you'll give in or not. It's a game for them, but for you it's exhausting. If only you had the same authority over them as Septum does. To say their name and to have them obey instantly. And when Shams looks at you, you hate to admit it, but she scares you a little. Because even though she still looks like you with affection and a touch of innocence, if you pay closer attention, or worse, overthink it, you realize that she watches you the way a cat does a caged bird from the outside. And Noor, he eats less and less. And it's not because he wants to. You've caught him staring at his food hungrily more than once. You've resorted to the extremes, and you're not proud to admit it, but you were desperate. Forcing him doesn't work. His body rejects what you make him eat, and it's barely anything to start. If his body refuses to accept more than a few bites a day, there is nothing you can do. The movement in the sheets pulls you back to the present. Unum lies beside you on the bed while you flip through the books he brought. You can't read them, but they're interesting enough to pass the time. Now his hand takes one of yours, pressing it close to his face, and your knuckles brush against his lips and cheeks. Suddenly, his teeth enter the equation, and he bares them with a mischievous smile under your watchful gaze, and traps the skin on the back of your hand between them, still holding your gaze as he begins to bite slowly. Are you trying to bite my fingers off? Are you gonna freaking eat my fingers? You don't pull away. You watch as his teeth press harder and harder into your flesh, and a strange tingle travels up your arm and into your chest. Unum's gaze doesn't waver for even a second. He's enjoying your reaction. When he finally releases the bite, he lazily drags his tongue over where his teeth have been. What's left are faint marks and a reddish bruise tinting your skin. A temporary mark made by him, the one that he stares at with a mix of pride and desire. I can't. He's such a freak. He's such a freak. And I'm standing on that. Look at him. Did it hurt? He asks, following with a long kiss to one of your knuckles. Your answer is brief, just a simple no. Your hands don't feel anything anymore, not even pressure. If Unum were to rip your hand off or a finger in a single bite, you wouldn't feel the pain. But that doesn't give him the right to claim the parts of your body that are bound to become useless someday. It's not fair that you won't give me a tiny little piece of yourself. Even the parts that are dying taste good. Just one little finger, please. No. Oh, you're cruel. You're gonna let me starve. That's right. You bite your lip after speaking, trying to hide a laugh, and you fail the moment you see the redhead's face scrunching up and feigning in pain. He's just so precious, I just can't. I'd let him eat me. Anyways, you return your attention to the book. Unum lies beside you, hugging the pillow, and he breathes heavily, inhaling and exhaling as if he were trying to get your attention. He's doing that on purpose. He doesn't need to breathe. It almost looks like a poor imitation of what you do when you sleep. Maybe even mockery if you think too hard about it. He groans in fake pain, rubbing his face into the pillow, trapped between his big arms. I have a council meeting. He breaks the silence, and you lift your eyes up from the book to process what he just said. Council? What? He must have noticed your confusion because he prepares to explain, taking a deep breath before speaking. I have to talk to them every month and stay updated on changes or issues with my domain. Nothing entertaining. I don't like it. They're all so old-fashioned and dull. I want to stay with you. Don't go. Stay with me. The freak. Why do you make this harder for me? Ugh. I'm not allowed to skip it. I promise I'll be back before the day ends. Yeah, I didn't want to go with because, girl, I'm scared. I probably should have, but I don't want to. So, yeah. You can't interrupt his call to duty, so after Unum makes breakfast for you and the children, he left. Today, Shams doesn't want to stay in the residence, preferring to visit Ignis, Solaris, and Elena. She tells you before leaving and asks you not to make her take Noir along. You ask her why, feeling a little angry about her attitude. Noir doesn't want to. He shut the door in my face when I asked if he wanted to come with me. Did you two fight? Shams glances to the left, pursing her lips while figuring out how to answer your question. Yes, you did. No. It's obvious they fought, but she still tries to deny it. Before leaving, she gives you a sideways glance, filled with guilt and worry. She calls you by your parental title. Her voice is soft and tender. It reminds you of all the other times that the name has come from her mouth, but this time it feels strange. So strange that it twists your stomach. It'd be better if he handles it. As she leaves, just like that, you don't get the chance to ask who she means by he. With how much influence Septum has over your children, you're not sure if Shams meant him or Unum. That's what I was going to say. I was like, I don't know which one it would be. You try to pass the time, finding something, anything, to keep yourself busy, but it's difficult. Clean, unnecessary. Unum always keeps everything spotless, and you're pretty sure he cleans the residence while you sleep. Aw, my man. Cook, impossible. Your chants don't work, since you don't know the language they use to sanctify food. Read? When Unum has time, you'll ask him to teach you and read the chant. So you have two options. Chat with the paintings in the halls, or go talk to your son. Girl, we're gonna go talk to our son, the freak. Would it be better if he had handled it? You don't think so. Septum, Unum, you don't know which one she meant, and that only makes it worse. The very thought that she might not have meant Unum, and that it could actually be Septum, makes your blood boil. You're the one who's there with them every day, watching in fear as they grow at an alarming rate. You're the one who longs and regrets not holding them more when they were babies. And no one is trying to take away the responsibility you have towards your children. It's time you have a real conversation with Noor about how he's been feeling lately. You walked with a strange tightness in your throat. Each step fills and disturbs the static of calm of the place. They shouldn't sound this loud or echo this much, but today they do. You head straight to the room Noor shares with his sister. Just a few more steps, and then you turn to the left. You already know the mental layout of this residence like the back of your hand. You're hoping that when you walk in, Noor will greet you with that gentle, timid smile of his. You reach the door to his room, and it's open. Still, you knock to announce yourself, but there's no reply. When you step inside, the room is empty. Noor? No one answers your call. Strange. You turn on your heels to go look for him. He shouldn't be outside, because wherever one of the twins leaves, they always let you know. The moment you step out of the room, an immense force slams into your chest and sends you falling backwards. Okay. With all his weight on top of you, Noor grabs your shoulders, pinning you down. His fingers and nails digging into your skin, tears it open until blood wells from the wounds. You stare at his eyes in horror. Their gentle look is gone, completely replaced by something else. Now you understand why Shams didn't want you involved. Nora looks at you at the same way he looks at leftovers he's forbidden to eat, with hunger. You try to scream his name, but you can't. Try again. Nora, stop! Nora ignores your words. Slowly, you die at the hands of your own son. Names are important here. Dang it! I thought I wouldn't die again. Okay. I think... sorry. Crap.
Self-voicing disabled.
Hold on. Did I save anything else? No, of course I freaking didn't because I suck. Wait. No. Dang it. I'll be back. Okay, so I chose the same thing. We're gonna try to say his original name. You struggle to break free, pushing against his face with your hands, trying to shove him back, but it's useless. In your desperation, you try to put a distance between you with your legs, and that works. Nora doesn't want to win, but he takes the position again, and this time with his hands on your stomach. His desperation and hunger blinds him so completely that your screams don't reach his ears. He's lost in a trance you can't break, and his nails tear through your clothes, reaching flesh. He grabs at your skin on his fist with a clear goal to rip you open and devour your organs. Okay. Fudge! Okay, we click saved. We're gonna scream Sirius. Sirius, stop! Nor freezes, his body tensing the moment you speak his true name. His eyes, your terrified reflection, trembles. Your arms are outstretched before you in an utterly useless shield of flesh and bone he could tear apart any second. Nor blinks once. A tiny tear glistens on his eyes, and his next blink, they break free, streaming down his cheeks non-stop. He opens his mouth, but no words come out. The only sound escaping his throat are broken, tiny whimpers, swallowed by his uncontrollable sobs. My poor baby. It's because they've made him not freaking eat. Does this mean now that we can say his name that we can tell him to eat because I want to? Just not me, please. Thanks. When he finally gathers his strength to speak, he calls out to you, scared, sorrowful, filled with regret, but he doesn't reach for you. He doesn't seek your touch. He stays still, trying to make himself as small as possible while he still cries. He apologizes over and over again, barely stopping to breathe, until his voice turns hoarse. My poor baby. Approach him and cradle him in your arms. He's still my baby, okay? Nor tries to push you away, flailing his hands and feet like a baby, but it's a weak attempt. If he could, he'd have you as far away, covered in more wounds. Even though his closeness burns, you don't care. You need to comfort your baby. Yes! It doesn't take long before he's in your arms, crying uncontrollably while begging for forgiveness. He struggles to articulate what he wants to say, his words devoured by sobs. But you understand him. He cares. You caress his face and whispers words of love to him. You tell him that you could never be angry with him, never hate him, and that he'll always be your little one no matter what happens. After a while, he begins to calm down, but he doesn't stop crying. It's now that you truly come to your senses. You're dealing with entities in a world far more dangerous than you ever let yourself admit. You're raising beings who could tear your eyes out with a single motion, and now hits you that you should be terrified. But it's hard to feel that fear completely, because behind those teeth and claws, they're still your kids. They're not monsters. Whoa, okay, glitch. End of Act 2. In the process of elaboration. You'll have to wait for more to see how it ends. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. I do want to find out what happens if we say we want to go with him. So... My husband, my husband, my husband. Where is he? Okay, this time we're gonna stop him. You pull your hand back firmly. Unum doesn't try to stop you. He just watches your face in silence. Oh. Okay, respectful. You return your attention to the book, and Unum lies down beside you. Okay, so the same thing. He's sighing in fake pain still, and he has a council meeting. What if we say, take me to the meeting? Unum stares at you wide-eyed, and then laughs loudly, almost uncontrollably. Do you have a death wish? Looking and smelling like that, you won't even make it to the council room door. Well, I don't think they could take me down anyways. But I don't think you'd be safe if I started fighting near you either. It's better if you stay here. I can tell the girls to keep you company for the day. You can't interrupt his call to duty. Okay. What if we go chat with the paintings? It sounds stupid enough to try, but if it helps, hours go by faster, and you've got nothing to lose. You walk decisively towards the first painting that comes to mind. Your first victims are the two women cutting the throat of the man lying on the bed. Oh. You explain the theory about why you think they're doing that. It's complete nonsense, but you still speak respectfully, and you expect some sort of response as you look at the paintings, but neither woman gives you one. Yeah, because they're paintings. You don't bother asking the man, well, because he can't speak with his throat split. Poor guy. You have to pause for a moment to process what you're doing. Yikes. You've officially become the neighborhood lunatic the moment you decided to talk to the paintings. Good thing no one can see how deranged you look. Yeah, it's time to stop. In silence, with a bit of shame in your soul, you step away from the scene, walking slowly, staring at the floor. Despite the passing hours, you can't get Sham's words out of your head. Would it really be better if he handled it? You don't think so. Makes your blood boil. Oh, we end up going anyways, don't we? Yep. Okay. Well, gosh darn it, my Shamsy boy. And my Nor boy. And all my boys. Well, even though. It's fine. Ooh, I almost fell out of my chair. Okay, so, well, that is the end of the route. And I don't really know how to think. I mean, I think know how to think. I don't really know what to think. I mean, the game is obviously good. It has kept me entertained. I'm freaking in love with Unum. Like, that man is fine. But anyways, see you guys later. Bye!